Right, we just started. Already there's breaking news.
The controversy surrounding VAR reached boiling point once again after Arsenal were denied what appeared to be a clear penalty in their Premier League clash against Brighton and Hove Albion, a decision that provoked an explosive reaction from club legend and former captain Thierry Henry. The incident has since become one of the most talked about refereeing moments of the season, reigniting fierce debate about consistency, transparency, and competence in the use of video assistant referee technology. For Henry, the decision was not just a mistake, it was symbolic of a system that, in his view, continues to fail players, clubs, and supporters alike. The flashpoint occurred during a crucial phase of the match when an Arsenal attacker drove into the Brighton penalty area and was brought down under heavy contact. From the initial broadcast angle, the defender appeared to clip the attacker's leg without touching the ball. Arsenal players immediately appealed, the crowd rose in anticipation, and even Brighton defenders hesitated, a moment that often signals guilt in modern football. The on-field referee waved play on, and VAR quickly initiated a review. Replays from multiple angles seemed to reinforce the belief that a foul had occurred. Yet, after a brief check, VAR chose not to intervene, confirming the original decision and stunning the Emirates Stadium into disbelief. The reaction was visceral. Thousands of supporters erupted in anger, players surrounded the referee, and Mikel Arteta stood motionless on the touchline, his frustration clear for all to see. What followed after the final whistle, however, took the controversy to another level. Speaking as a pundit, Thierry Henry delivered a blistering critique that resonated far beyond Arsenal supporters. "I don't know what VAR is supposed to do anymore," Henry said. "You slow it down, you zoom in, you look at it from every angle, and you still don't give it. If that's not a penalty, then please explain to me what is." Henry's frustration was rooted not only in this single decision, but in what he described as a pattern of inconsistency. One week, that's a penalty. The next week, it's not even reviewed properly. Players, fans, managers, nobody knows the rules anymore. That's the real problem. For Arsenal, the sense of injustice was magnified by recent history. Supporters were quick to point out previous VAR decisions that had gone against the club in key moments, from marginal offsides to disputed goals and unpunished fouls. In a league where margins are razor thin, such decisions can have massive consequences. Henry emphasized this point strongly. "People say it evens itself out over a season. That's not true. These decisions change games, points, titles, careers. You can't just brush it off and say next time." The former striker also questioned the mindset of VAR officials, suggesting there is a growing reluctance to overturn on-field decisions. "It feels like they're scared to say the referee got it wrong. But VAR was brought in to correct mistakes, not protect egos." Arteta, constrained by the Premier League's strict rules on officiating criticism, refused to be drawn into controversy during his post-match interview. His carefully chosen words did little to mask the underlying anger. "I have watched it several times," he said. "The images speak for themselves." Henry, however, was not bound by such restrictions, and he made full use of that freedom. Managers can't speak. Players get booked for asking questions. So who is left to speak for the game? The decision also sparked widespread reaction across social media, with fans from other clubs, not just Arsenal, expressing concern over VAR's credibility. Many compared the incident to penalties awarded elsewhere in the league for significantly less contact, further fueling accusations of inconsistency. Former players and analysts weighed in as well, with several calling the call astonishing and indefensible. Even some Brighton supporters admitted privately that their side had been fortunate to escape punishment. Beyond the immediate outrage, the incident reopened broader questions about how VAR is implemented in the Premier League. Unlike some European leagues where referees explain decisions or are encouraged to review pitch-side monitors more frequently, English officials remain largely insulated from public scrutiny. Henry highlighted this lack of transparency as a major issue. Fans deserve explanations. You can't just say check complete and move on. That's not good enough for the biggest league in the world. He also pointed to the emotional toll on players. Imagine training all week, fighting for every ball, and then a decision like that takes something away from you. It kills trust. As the season enters its decisive phase, the stakes continue to rise. Arsenal are competing at the sharp end of the table, where every point carries enormous weight. Dropped points due to controversial decisions are not easily forgotten, especially when rivals benefit from similar situations. The Premier League, for its part, has repeatedly defended VAR, insisting that officials follow strict protocols and that errors are minimal. Yet moments like this undermine those assurances and strengthen calls for reform. Suggestions from pundits and fans range from clearer guidelines on penalties, to mandatory pitch-side reviews, to post-match explanations from referees. Some have even called for semi-automated systems to reduce subjective interpretation. Henry ended his analysis with a stark warning. Football survives on trust. If people stop believing in the fairness of the game, then you have a serious problem. VAR was meant to help football, not confuse it. For Arsenal supporters, the sense of injustice will linger long after the match itself fades from memory. For VAR, the spotlight grows harsher with every controversial decision. And for the Premier League, the pressure to restore confidence in officiating has never been greater. What was meant to be a routine league fixture has now become another defining moment in the ongoing VAR debate, one that will be replayed, analyzed, and argued over for months to come.